everybody, I am back. You might notice some pretty major reflections in my glasses. I got some lights from Joann's to try and light me a little bit better. I'm still noticing some shadows. We're going to work with my angles. We're probably going to move the table around a little bit, try and get things set up so that I don't have quite so much shadow, but I really wanted to shoot this today because I've been waiting to play with this yarn and I wanted to do a full review. So for starters, if it's gonna bug you that halfway through this video there's gonna be a cut and I'm gonna be wearing a different shirt, you've been warned. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about some yarn that I just got in the mail maybe a week ago, maybe a little bit longer, and I'm going to take a look at it on the hank and sort of, or the skein, or however you call it when it's like this. And I'm gonna talk about the colors and what I'm gonna do with it, and then I'm going to actually swatch it and wash it and see how it blooms and see how it looks once it's been swatched and washed, and kind of get a general idea of how the yarn is going to behave. And so that's kind of the way this video is going to go. Hopefully you'll enjoy it, and I can do this on more yarns if you want. I have all kinds of yarns already in my stash, or I could order all new yarns, and I could start going on request. Today we are going to be talking about some KnitPicks yarn that I just bought for a specific project. I'm not going to talk about the project I bought it for yet. I think I'm going to wait until I do a good old-fashioned yarn vlog. So we're going to start with the yarn that I bought specifically for a pair of socks, and then we'll move on to the yarn that I bought for a sweater. And that's as much information as you're getting as far as the sweater, because I want to talk about that in a vlog later. So the first one that I got, it's Hawthorne Fingering, and the color is Eugene Tonal. It's a hand-painted yarn. And it's a very pretty sort of dark brown on the purple end. And I saw this online and I said this needs to become socks. I don't know if I'm going to make maybe some higher socks. I tend to like I believe they're called crew length socks. I'm a sucker for tonal yarn. My favorite brand of yarn would be Madeline Tosh, and Madeline Tosh has some of the most beautiful tonal yarns I have ever seen. I have an absolutely gorgeous like purple magenta that I am going to be pairing with this gorgeous navy that it goes from like a lighter navy to an almost black. It's so pretty. I'm going to be putting those together in probably a striped shawl of some kind. If you've got a pattern you might want to recommend, please let me know. I've already done the Ishnecht shawl though. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's this shawl that's got this beautiful Celtic knot work along the edge. I've already done that in brown and red. It's actually, if you look at my banner for my channel, that's the Ishnecht shawl, and I don't want to do it again. As beautiful as it was and as therapeutic as that particular project was for me, I did it after a very traumatic event in my life to kind of help me sort of have something to focus on. As beautiful as that is, it's an extremely complicated pattern that I'm really not ready to sort of dive into again. I may someday do another one in brighter colors, but not right now. I've also already got this pattern from Craftsy that I got in grays, yellows, and creams. I'm going to be doing, I bought one of their kits. I'm trying really hard to sort of work through some of that yarn. But if you do have a pattern for some Madeline Tosh yarn, I've got two beautiful colors that are going to look great together. And it's this real poppy purple magenta and a very beautiful understated navy blue. So if you've got a pattern suggestion, please leave a comment down below. But yeah, I'm a sucker for tonal yarn. That was a whole big thing, wasn't it? I'm a sucker for tonal yarn, and I especially seem to really gravitate towards purples and browns. And so when I saw this color of Hawthorne, I had to have it. I had to have this beautiful brownish purple. It's so pretty. It's perfect sock yarn from what I understand. Hawthorne is an amazing sock yarn. It's 80% superwash, fine Highland wool, and 20% polyamide. Polyamide, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I should probably probably start looking these things up before I start. And I have, if you go to my Ravelry queue, I think you can view other people's queues? Anyway, if you go to my Ravelry, I'm at Aorai, that's Twitter. I'm Aorai on Ravelry, Aourai. And you can look, I have a ton of socks on my queue. I'm part of 2 Michigan groups on Ravelry, and one of them does Summer of Socks every year, and I did it in 2016, and I queued up so many pairs of socks. I ended up knitting like 5 that summer, and then I knit none this year, and over the last year, and probably because a lot of the trauma that happened in 2016 started in the summer, and it's hard for me to go back and do socks because I was knitting socks during that time. But anyway, I want to get back into sock knitting. I have a ton of sock yarn. That whole box of yarn that I did the vlog about a little while ago, that was all sock yarn. And so I really want to sit down and start a set of socks with this. So this is the Hawthorne Tonal in the color Eugene. Hopefully this is doing it justice, showing it. This is, I mean, with the new lighting, you can kind of get an idea at least of how like the light catches it. Because of how it's spun and because of the fiber content in it, it does have a very light sheen that makes it look very classy in my opinion. So tonight I'm going to be putting this into a usable ball and I will be swatching it. Because I'm going to be doing a pair of socks, I just have to pick the pair I'm going to use and I'll swatch it according to that. And then this is I've already got the pattern picked for this yarn that I'm about to show. It's more Hawthorne and it is the Speckled. I bet a lot of you who are really avid knitters, especially if you listen to the Yarniacs podcast, know what I'm going to be making out of this. So if you think you know, please comment down below and let me know what you think I'm going to be making with this. I'm making a sweater, a pullover sweater. So we're going to start there. And if you know what it is, you comment, okay? And maybe I'll give you a shout out on my next video. This is the same, it's the same fiber content, and I've got 4 colors here of speckled yarn that I thought would all go very nicely together. I think it's pretty obvious if you follow knitting trends what I'm making out of this. So this color here, it's got beautiful, a yellowish cream background with gray, yellow, and green speckles, and the yellow and green are like acid yellow and green. They're very bright, but because they have this nice gray with them and this beautiful sort of soft yellow cream background base, I guess you could say, it really brings those colors out in a way that doesn't look tacky or too much, if you know what I mean. And so this color is called City Lights. Reminded me of New York and Chicago, living in the big city. Kind of miss it sometimes, but then I remember what driving was like. So then the next color, and this is the order I think that I'm going to knit them in the sweater, because it's one of those sweaters that, you know, because this also has that acid yellow and green and the yellow backdrop, but it's got this beautiful oceanic blue that I just love. And it's almost teal. And this color is Italian Ice. Isn't it pretty? I fell in love with these yarns and I knew I had to knit this sweater when I was listening to the Yarniacs podcast. They were talking about this sweater and I was like, I need to knit that sweater. What should I do it in? And then I was browsing KnitPicks because it's like, even if I don't end up going with a KnitPicks yarn, I love browsing KnitPicks for ideas. And I was like, I'm going to use a speckled yarn. So I looked at their speckled yarns and I was like, oh my gosh, it has to be this yarn. Then we're going to move up to the blue. I have a bluish background with blue and purple speckles in the Hawthorne. I think that these two are going to look quite nice next to each other because this has just a little bit of green to it, to the base, and this is got a little bit of a bluish green tinge to it, and this color is Aquatic. Isn't it? This speckled yarn is so pretty. I've never done anything with speckled yarn before, and I'm so in love with it. Anyway, and then the final color has this gray blue base with blue and magenta and just like a little bit of gray. This one's probably the most colorful. There's like some gray and black with the magenta as well and some spots. It's beautiful, beautiful yarn. And this one is Cosmic. So I'm going to be winding them all into balls tonight, and I'm going to start swatching them, and then I'm going to dry them all, and we're going to see how they look once they've been knit up, washed, and dried. Obviously not like dried in the dryer, although they are super wash. Machine wash, gentle, tumble, dry, low. Okay, so I'm actually going to wash and dry these like you would wash and dry anything else. And I'm going to see how they look. I'm going to see how color safe they are. I'm going to follow the washing instructions on the actual tag. That doesn't mean when I actually knit the sweater and block it that I'm going to wash it in the washer. I'm a little leery of that because you spend hours and hours and hours on these things. So I'll probably wash it on delicate, because you wanna wash your swatches exactly how you're going to treat the item when it's done. And I'm not going to be washing my hand knit sweaters in the washing machine on anything other than delicate. I'm not going to be drying them on anything higher than the lowest setting, because it's a sweater that you knit yourself. You spend hours and hours and hours on it. Why would you just throw it in the washing machine? Not to mention you don't really block it that way. Like, it's going to need blocking. It's a hand knit. It's going to need to have some time to like chill out, let the stitches settle into place. So until I come back, ready for the cut now, I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, so this is the continuation of the KnitPicks Hawthorne fingering that I was talking about. As you can see, I'm dressed very differently. I'm actually going to be cleaning my house for most of the day, but I wanted to shoot this really quick because it's Sunday and I shot the original on Monday and had a really, really bad week. I'm starting to feel better now. It's just been a high anxiety week for me, and so I'm not going to bother with looking great. I'm just going to try and shoot this and talk a little bit about the yarn and how it's behaving now that it's been blocked. As you can see, I didn't really weave in the ends or anything. So first of all, there's the fade factor. And in this lighting, it's showing up much nicer, but there are 4 colors in here, like I showed you. And these first 2, here and here, they are very close together in color. And that's a bit of a problem for me. You can't really tell that they're fading into each other unless you look really closely and notice that there's no blue in these first 5 rows. So that's kind of, I'm wondering if maybe I should try fading it a different way, or if I should keep it like this, because I really do like going from like this cream color to like this kind of slightly less cream but still cream to this blue base to the gray base. I think it looks really nice, but there's just not as much, like in the sweater I'm making with it, there's just not as much in this swatch in the fading as there is in the sweater. And like I said, I'm going to be shooting a very traditional crafting vlog soon, where I'm talking about what I'm knitting and what's on in my queue, and maybe some new yarns that I've gotten. And when I shoot that, I'll talk more about the actual sweater. But if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen me post pictures of this yarn and what I'm going to be using it for. So if you want to knit along, please do. I won't be casting this sweater on before then, though. So I will talk about it, and then if you want to maybe do a knit along with me, that would be great. You know, pick out some of the yarn. The Hawthorne is very affordable, and it's very easy to work with so far. It's got, so let's talk a little bit more about the actual yarn. It's a very firm yarn, but like as you can see, the swatch has okay drape, and it's knit in the round, so the drape isn't going to be as nice as if it was knit in just a straight piece. And once it's a nice bigger piece, it's going to be better. I am in love with the way the colors pop and the way the speckles are. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe like everybody says all the time. And if you really do like my content and you want to know as soon as it comes out, I guess there's like that, you can hit the little bell. I don't want to be like a high pressure person like that, because I don't YouTube for money. I YouTube for fun and for mental health, and just so I can share things with people. So I'm not going to be like high pressure, hit the bell, but you can if you really do want to know, because I do release kind of sporadically. I want to get on a releasing schedule. I want to start like editing on Tuesday and releasing on Wednesday, but it's really hard, especially now that the weather's getting nicer and I'm taking my daughter out to do things. It's much harder for me to justify sitting at a computer and editing while she watches TV, because the weather's, well, it's not getting nicer yet, but it should soon. It's Michigan after all. So you can follow me on Instagram, Tumblr, Facebook, and Pinterest as Be My Full Moon. And I'm on Twitter and Ravelry as Aoray, that's Aurai. I've used that name for so long. Some of you might even know me from back when I first started using that name. And I follow people back, especially on Ravelry. I love seeing other people's projects and stuff. So if you're going to follow me on Ravelry, I will follow you right back. I don't even care if I know you or not, because I don't post anything that's sensitive there. It's all just my pictures from like the most you might see is a picture of my daughter wearing something I knit her. Like, that's the most sensitive thing you'll find. So follow me on Ravelry, follow me on Instagram. I love following crafters, makeup artists, and fitness people on Instagram, especially if you're plus size like me and you're on a fitness journey, in a healthier weight journey. I would love to follow you and we could share things, hair stuff, cosplay, any of that. I love to follow those things on my social media, so please follow me and I'll follow you back. Probably not on Facebook, because Facebook is just like my like the Be My Full Moon is my business page. I did create a group for Be My Full Moon, which I will be posting, like, this kind of, like, when I post a new vlog, I'll definitely be linking it there, because this is now part of, like, the Be My Full Moon brand. And so yeah, and look forward to maybe some, like, product tours. Like, I can show you some of the stuff I'll be selling at conventions and stuff this year and all that stuff. And my daughter's getting really restless, so I'm going to go play with her. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate every single one of you, and please subscribe. I'd love to see how many people are actually watching the videos by subscribers. And since I don't overpost, I'm hoping that more people will think about subscribing. And if you haven't watched my Darn Good Yarn videos, those seem to be my most popular. I have 2 of them. I haven't figured out how to link them in the video like this yet. I'm going to figure that out soon, hopefully. For now, I'll probably try and link them in the description. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all hopefully next week. Bye!